November 13th, 2022, a date that would forever be etched in the annals of Moscow, Idaho's history. Moscow, Idaho, a quaint college town where the crisp chill hung in the air, signaling the arrival of winter. The frost-covered grass in the morning was a harbinger of the winter to come, a season that would bring more than just cold weather. But inside a house on King Road, a far more sinister chill had settled, the kind that seeps into your bones and never leaves. The victims: Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Zana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. 4 young souls full of life and promise, their smiles now frozen in time. Young lives full of promise brutally cut short, their dreams and aspirations now mere memories for those who love them, their futures once bright now shrouded in darkness. The halls they walked, now echoing with silence. The scene, a gruesome tableau, bloodstains marking the end of innocence, crime scene tape fluttering in the cold wind. A quiet neighborhood, now a haven for investigators in white suits. The tranquility shattered by the flashing lights of police cars, evidence markers dotting the floor like grim confetti, each one telling a story of horror and despair. A killer had walked among them, a shadow in the night, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. And the hunt was on. Detectives and officers, driven by a relentless pursuit of justice, piecing together the fragments of a shattered community. The town held its breath, fear mingled with grief. Who could have committed such a heinous act? Whispers turned to speculation. The victims' lives, laid bare in the media's glare. Police released bits of information. A white Hyundai Elantra. A single chilling detail: the attack was targeted, but who was the target and why? Days turned into weeks, the investigation seemed to stall, leads ran cold, hope began to dwindle. Would justice ever be served? Then a break. A DNA hit. The forensic team had been working tirelessly, sifting through countless samples, and finally, they had a match. This was the breakthrough they had been waiting for, a crucial piece of evidence that could turn the tide of the investigation. A name surfaced: Bryan Kohberger. His name was not previously on the radar, but now it was at the center of the investigation. The police began to dig deeper into his background, trying to piece together who this man was, a seemingly normal student studying criminology. He blended in effortlessly with his peers, attending classes and participating in campus activities. To those around him, he was just another student, passionate about his studies. But behind the facade, a darker truth lurked. Kohberger's movements came under scrutiny. Surveillance footage revealed a pattern of behavior that raised red flags. His nervous demeanor and frequent unexplained absences began to paint a different picture. His white Elantra spotted near the crime scene. This vehicle became a key piece of evidence linking him to the location of the crime. Investigators tracked its movements, hoping to uncover more clues. His interest in criminology, now a chilling detail. What once seemed like academic curiosity now appeared sinister. His knowledge of criminal behavior and investigative techniques made him a more formidable suspect. The net tightened. On December 30th, a SWAT team descended upon Kohberger's parents' home in Pennsylvania. The operation was swift and precise, leaving no room for error. The authorities were determined to bring him in. The arrest sent shockwaves across the nation. News outlets scrambled to cover the story, and the public was left reeling. How could someone so seemingly ordinary be capable of such heinous acts? Could this be the face of the killer? The nation watched closely as the investigation unfolded, each new detail adding to the growing sense of unease. The search for answers had only just begun. Section 4. In the Shadow of Justice. The trial began. The prosecution laid out their case. The DNA evidence, the car sighting, the timeline meticulously pieced together. The defense countered, questioning the DNA, suggesting alternative explanations, a chess game of legal strategy, with lives hanging in the balance. The courtroom became a stage. The families of the victims, their faces etched with grief. Kohberger, his demeanor cold and detached. Section 5. Unveiling the evidence. Based on the affidavit released, several key details have emerged about the investigation into Bryan Kohberger. The affidavit reveals that Kohberger's phone was near the victim's house at least 12 times before the murders. On the night of the murders, his phone was turned off during the time of the killings, but it was later turned back on near the crime scene. Surveillance footage captured a white Hyundai Elantra, matching Kohberger's car, near the victim's house. Additionally, DNA evidence found on a knife sheath at the crime scene matched Kohberger's DNA. These pieces of evidence have been crucial in building the case against him. The investigation continues as authorities seek to uncover more details and bring justice to the victims and their families. Each revelation brings us closer to understanding the truth, but also deepens the tragedy that has unfolded. The quest for justice takes its toll on everyone involved, but it remains a beacon of hope for the families of the victims.